South Texas Amateur Tour Podcast, The Power Hour, with your hosts, Travis Silkowski, Michael Emanuelian, Casey Graham, Jason Bird, and Brad Gilbert.
Good evening, South Texas Amateur Golf Tour. How is everybody doing? It is Wednesday night, September 18th, 7:32. We are here. We are talking things golf on tour. Super exciting. We're going to recap Alt Shot this weekend. Some say Alt Shot is the toughest of the formats. It's personally my favorite. Now, that's mainly because I'm so used to playing alt shot, even when I'm playing by myself. I bring a lot of personalities to the golf course. Someone different is hitting every shot for me. So I love alt shot. It was a hell of a weekend at Northern Hills. Maybe some of the best alt shot golf that we've seen. So we'll talk about that. And more importantly, we're going to see the new top 10. And we're going to talk about the PC Open. The PC Open, Brackenridge Park this weekend. I have been playing with the numbers. I have been basically kind of filling in for Casey in the stats and, kind of like what the opportunities are. I got some fun facts, some fun stats that'll kind of show like nobody's out of this yet. Top 3 is not safe. Top 3 is not secure. It is still anybody's game. And we are going to talk a lot about that. Before we jump in, before we do anything else, let me go ahead and bring out my partner for the evening, my partner for every golf tournament, and really just one of the friendliest ambassadors on tour. And when he keeps it, it's the best mustache on tour. Brad Gilbert.
What's going on, MD?
What is going on, buddy? How are you doing?
Not too bad. I don't want to get into it just yet, like you said, but it's very fitting that I'm on the podcast if we're going to talk about how unsafe third place is.
We'll save that for later. We're definitely going to talk to you a lot because we do. I have some questions for you as we are getting ready to go into the PC Open. You are sitting in the top 3 right now, so we'll talk more about that as we go. Man. It's Wednesday. We're a couple days out from the alt shot event at Northern Hills. First and foremost, what did you think about course setup? Think it was too easy?
It was. I don't think it was too easy. I think it was a lot of fun. To be honest with you, just off the top of my head, number 8, the tee box way up. We drove the green there. There's a couple of them I just can't think of right now, but all I know is the course setup was awesome in my opinion. Also, obviously the course conditions were great, and me and all my partners had a pretty good time. So.
The vibes were high for that round. Alt shot typically, you expect a little bit of drama. You expect maybe you're going to have a fault every now and then. Honestly, it was probably some of the best alt shot golf that I've been a part of. And watching our playing partners, the scores could have been significantly lower if a couple of putts dropped.
That's what I was going to say. Steven and Jonathan, man, they could have been super low. I don't see how some of those didn't go in.
They got robbed on a lot.
For sure.
It was amazing putting. Every line they picked was right. And it was just too pure. That's the problem. Course was set up, I think, a little bit easier. Travis and I both were kind of in agreement of hey, let's go have some fun with this. It's alt shot. It's already tough. Let's give some fun tee boxes. Let's give some interesting pins because when we get to the playoffs, first 2 rounds, Northern Hills, Travis is going to go big on it. take advantage of Northern Hills when it's short. Be ready for it to be long come the playoffs.
For sure. And it was still challenging too. Like number 3, let's see, 1, 2, 3. Number 4, the par 3, that was a tough pin position, even though it was playing a little bit.
That's probably easy for us.
I know, exactly. You stuck it pretty close, and then I made the putt, thankfully. But even on number 5 as well, that front right pin position, like, you know, you can bomb it off the tee all you want, but it's gonna be really hard to stop it. That, you know, in the front there. So that was a pretty challenging pin position, in my opinion.
I mean, I have nothing but good things to say about
I agree.
Course conditions were great. Tee boxes, pins were fun. I think as we roll through the winners here, going into this weekend, I mean that's kind of why we finished with alt shot a little too. Is there's no guarantees. Like your top 10 aren't always safe when you go into an alt shot. It's just so many variables, and you're relying on another person to kind of keep you in check.
I agree.
I think this might have been probably one of the best performances from a top 10, top 12 in alt shot that I have seen. I mean, just really, really cool. We'll see the top 10. We'll talk a little bit about how it changed a little bit. But we'll also talk about, just how it didn't change, which was more surprising. I don't know what happened there. Let's go ahead and recap Northern Hills. I mean, again, just really, really good playing. We're not going to have everybody's pictures. Some of our winners left early or had to get out. So we're not going to have everybody's pictures. I do also want to say, because I was thinking about this and I was talking to Trav, I know the last group in fourth flight did not finish. They finished right at about 5 hours.
Oh, okay.
Which is great. Still great. Yeah. But I do want to just absolutely say how crazy it was. We finished in 3 hours and 42 minutes. We were the first group out, 3 hours and 42 minutes. I mean, we hit the 17th green, or we hit the 17th tee box, and I'm like, guys, we've only been playing for like 3 hours and 20 minutes. Like, we haven't been playing that long, guys. Like, this is moving fast.
It was such a comfortable pace, in my opinion. Like, I know we're fast players.
I mean, we stayed on the group in front of us. Like, that wasn't a problem.
Exactly. So kudos to the group.
Kudos to open play.
They were, man. They were booking.
I think we were kind of waiting on them for maybe 2 holes, kind of towards the 10, 11, and 12 a little bit.
Yep.
And I don't know if they just kind of were like, let's just get the hell out of the way, or they just started playing better again, and they were gone.
No, I hit the tree on 13, and that slowed us down just enough to give them a little room there. So
I was trying not to bring that up.
I was
trying not to. We're not going to talk about that hole. That was heartbreaking.
30 yards.
Hey, let me practice the shot too.
Yeah,
so that's fine.
Exactly.
So let's talk about all these flights. Let's start with third flight. So third flight net. I was as excited as could be to see this. A solo 8 under, shooting a 64. Kevin Tennyson and Rudy Fuentes taking the win in third flight net.
That's awesome.
Dude, Kevin Tennyson's just such a good dude.
Oh yeah, both of those guys, they're really good guys. Really nice.
Rudy's a great guy. If you were to tell me that Kevin Tennyson is a freaking grandfather, I'd be like, bullshit.
I know.
That dude.
Crazy. Yeah.
Dude,
sorry.
No. I mean, he's like forever young. It's amazing.
No, I completely agree. And what's crazy is that as soon as we finished our round, I went straight to number 1 tee, and Kevin and Rudy's group was teeing off. They were playing with Dale Beavers and Tim White. So I got to see their first tee shots in both of them. I think Rudy was trying to carry the water on the left. I'm not sure I saw it get over or not. He might have been all right, but I know Kevin just struck one right down the middle. So, and man, they were super excited after the round. So, and I was excited for them. Really good play.
Yeah. I mean, great playing by them. They had kind of looking at their round, I mean, they still, as a team, they shot 8 over gross. They had a nice birdie on 8. That was their only birdie of the round. But, I mean, again, third flight, it's a little bit tougher. +6 was the winning score, and it was a scorecard playoff to determine that winner. So shooting 8 over and really being in third place on the gross side and being 5 strokes clear of fourth, really, really stout playing by them. Rudy's playing really well, working hard, and Kevin's always playing. That dude's a morning. He's a dew chaser. That dude plays first thing in the morning.
It seems like he plays every day, at least once.
And he plays every day. But super excited to see both of them get a win. So congrats to Rudy and Kevin on their win. 8 under, net 64. That is a win in third flight.
Great job.
Moving on to our gross winner. As I said, we had a +6 winning score. There are 2 teams that did that. Jason Barger and Rick Thies, and not surprising to see these names on the board. Lazaro Gonzalez and Roger Murray.
Oh my goodness.
Shocking.
Yeah. That is a dynamic duo right there.
I mean, it's a scary duo. What, number 5? I'm trying to think what's the number 1 hole. I think it's 5.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. The par 4, right?
It's the par 4, yeah, number 5. Scorecard playoff went 1 hole. That was a par for Jason and Rick. That was a birdie for Laz and Roger.
That's a pretty good birdie.
That's a great birdie.
That's a tough hole. That was playing tough, in my opinion.
I mean, that hole is tough in general. If you are somebody who hits a draw like myself, that is one of the most stressful tee shots to hit through the course of the day, because that slope just says, "Hey, look, there's water on the left side. You either need to go in the You either go in the bunker or you run the risk of the water."
Exactly.
But these 2 showing up +6, winning in the scorecard playoff, gross 78. They had a couple of birdies on the day. Had a birdie on 5, which was really nice. Picked up the birdie on 17. So 2 very nice birdies out of that group. And been pretty consistent. I mean, they never let any of the holes get away from them. As a team, they made no doubles. Everything was just bogeys. So really, really kind of kept it together. So that's really good impressive. Playing by them.
If I had to guess, MD, the birdie on number 5, I bet Roger, bombed one right down the middle, lost, topped one to probably about 6 feet, and Roger made the putt. If I had to put money on it.
If you had to put money on it.
But either way, that's really good.
Some insider knowledge.
No, I don't know. I just.
Dude, I would have. I mean, if I'm being honest here, I think it's. I would assume it's a Roger Murray drive, and I would assume again Laz probably hit something good. But Roger, I mean, Roger's a good putter.
Oh,
and that pin was not a super forgiving pin up front there.
I agree.
So
I agree.
I mean, you had to be a little bit. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. I was just saying they're both playing really well, so I could have no telling what that combination was.
Yeah, I mean, either way, super fun to watch. Really, really happy for them. Now on to second flight. Don't have a picture of the winning team here, but familiar names on the board. Shooting a net 7 under 65, 3 strokes clear of second place over Art Mesa and Ed Mitchell. Dean Chavez and Lee Mole. I mean, and they, oh, I'm sorry. I screwed this up.
Uh-oh.
Sorry. My bad. That would be a gross win. I'm sorry. I got them backwards. Gross win for Lee Mole and Dean Chavez, shooting a +6 on the gross side. 6 over 78. 1 birdie on the day, had a nice birdie on 10. The rest of it was pretty consistent, pars and bogeys. Just kind of playing steady golf. And Lee inside the top 10. Lee's playing really, really good golf right now. So he's a scary name on the board for anyone who's at the PC Open this weekend.
I mean, Lee Moll's addicted to winning cookies at this point. He's winning so
Dude.
many. So
Dude,
playing
he's
really
got
well.
a real cookie issue.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know why we don't. I know we have the Cookie Mafia. At this point, I'm surprised that we don't have some dentist as a sponsor as well. Because, I mean, there's a couple of people like Laz and Roger, and at this point, Jonathan Harder, Lee, you, Dustin Well. You guys should all have friggin' cavities.
Hey, you know,
Like the amount of cookies.
Laura makes them so good that you don't even have to worry about any of that.
Dude, I get a cavity just looking at them. They are so good.
They are
on the net side, let's jump over to net. Shooting a net 4 under. This was a 2-way playoff for first place net. Charles Klein, Ruben Ramirez, 4 under 68. Art Mesa and Ed Mitchell, 4 under 68. Winning in the scorecard playoff goes to Art Mesa and Ed Mitchell. They had a net eagle. So they birdied 5 on their own. Fantastic. But net eagle up against a par net birdie. And I was watching Art. I was when I pulled up scores. Art and Ed were what? Yeah, they were 3 under at one point. They were 3 under through 6 holes.
Dang, that's pretty good.
On gross.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I know.
Solid birdie on 2. Birdie on 5. Birdie on 6. I mean, Jesus, and they birdied 9.
Yeah, I know Ed's been playing really well lately, and of course this time of year is when Art always shows up for the playoffs, and he gets hot, so not too. He
is Art Mesa, aka Big Tiger.
Yeah,
but he has moved to good. We did talk about it. I know the Sunday Red stuff when it was starting to come out. I don't know if he has dove in yet into that stuff, but
it wasn't up to his standards yet.
I don't know if it was up to his standard yet, but the good stuff was working for Art. Ed Mitchell's been playing great golf too. You can't undersell how good golf he's been playing.
Yeah, I played with first time. Yeah, I guess the first time I played with him was at the Fort Sam event when he played with Dale Beavers, and I was very impressed. He played really well. So
he's just the nicest guy.
Yeah, he's pretty good, pretty nice.
Like you almost feel bad trying to beat him.
Yeah,
almost.
Yeah. I hate that I root against him when I'm playing against him. No.
All right. Well, moving on to first flight. Solo 6 under, net 66. Another familiar group in Hunter Patterson and Jonathan Harder. Jonathan Harder is having a stellar summer.
I'm gonna leave this one to you. I don't want to talk about Jonathan Harder.
Yeah, I know you don't want to talk about it. You're gonna have to talk about it in a little bit. We'll deal with it. But congrats to Hunter Patterson, Jonathan Harder, 6 under, 66. I mean, they came out swinging. Birdie on 1, birdie on 2, birdie on 8. Put together a nice little round there. Unfortunately, kind of started the back 9 off with a double. But hey, they stayed pretty consistent. Made a couple of birdies, and 6 under 66. That is good enough for first place net. Congrats.
That's impressive. And I think this is their second consecutive time teaming up with the second consecutive cookie as well. If I'm not,
I believe that is the situation. So congrats to Jonathan. We'll talk more about him as the night goes on. Let's talk about our first flight gross winners. So another team that we have seen pairing well together, like a fine wine and some cheese and crackers. Mark Kacheski and Dennis Danowski. That is a 3 under 69 gross score. They beat out Dakota Albers and Mario Martinez, shooting even 72.
Man, I wonder if either one of them drove the green on number 8. They probably hit it over the green. They're both so long, it's ridiculous.
I mean, they maybe did. Shit,
Yeah,
we
man.
drove the green and we made par.
Yeah.
They did too.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay.
So
We're in good company.
they shot a nice 2 under on the front, went to the back and shot, a solid 1 under. Birdied 17 and 18 coming in,
Nice.
which is, they were 1 clear going into it, and they solidified. So,
And I believe this is now an ambassador team, right? Is that correct? Mr. Donofsky is now an ambassador.
I have no idea. I don't get the emails.
Gotcha. I think
I'm in so many different group chats
yeah.
for the tour. I can't keep track.
No,
But Dennis Donofsky, already a team member for the South Texas Match Play Challenge team, helping propel Mark Kacheski up the boards in the point standings and seeing if we can't get Mark on the team. So congrats to this dynamic duo continuing to play well as we move into the PC Open. Big shout out to them. And let's talk about Champ Flight. I hate talking about Champ Flight. I hate doing these shows if I don't win. I hate doing recaps. Champ Flight net. Scorecard playoff.
Yep.
Two teams. Shot 7 under 65. Mr. Bradley Gilbert and Michael Dermanuelian, and Alex Pissarro and Andre Ramirez. Which, you and Andre being so tight, it's not fun. Not fun to have to go into a scorecard playoff, but here it is. Scorecard playoff goes to Andre Ramirez and Alex Pissarro. They were gone before we got pictures, before I could close out and get everything done. They had to jump. So they win scorecard playoff. Let's see, where did they beat us? I think it went 2 holes. I believe we went. I think it was 5, and then it jumps. It was 15. 15 is the number 2 hole, and that we bogeyed with your amazing punch shot out of the trees.
Yeah, it was unfortunate. You hit such a good shot on that hole.
I'm still thinking about that shot. I'm still trying to figure out how it went that far.
Yeah, we had 2 holes that really bit us, but yeah, like you said, we finished so quick. I was looking at the leaderboard, and like that group was the first one I looked at, because I was like, I'm not sure we did enough, And
well, the thing is, they had one of the best comebacks. They had the best comeback of the weekend. Yeah. Going into 15. Going into 15, we had a 4-stroke lead on them.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So we finished 4 up on them. We're at 7 under. They're at 3. They go into 15. They make par on 15. That is a net birdie for them. So back to cut the lead to 3. They birdie 16, birdie 17, and par net birdie 18. 4 strokes and the scorecard playoff win. So congrats to Alex and Andre on their great playing. That's a great friggin' stretch of holes to finish up and battle back. So big shout out to them.
And now that I'm not angry anymore, I can say I'm happy for them.
I'm still angry.
Nice.
That shit's gonna.
Deserved it.
Yeah, Steve Evans. I was shook when I found out you guys had been beaten. It didn't.
Yeah.
It really. At 4 strokes, you got to kind of think like that's a pretty solid lead. 1 or 2 strokes is not something I want to have. If I have 4 or 5 strokes, I feel like we should be okay.
Yeah.
I didn't look at their last 4 holes.
Yeah.
Until I was doing the scores, and I'm like, oh shit.
Exactly.
And I just sat there in disbelief.
I was already prepped because, like I said, that was the first group I looked at. I know what, I don't know Alex very well, but I know what Andre is capable of. So it wasn't too surprising to me. So
But you know what? Still proud of us. We fired one under
yeah,
one under gross.
yeah,
Probably, obviously we gave a few back. We could have been 4 or 5 without those 2 holes. We had a couple of good looks at eagle that just didn't drop too, but really, I mean, we played great. Vibes were high. We had fun. It was awesome.
yeah, and in my opinion, like especially playing with Steven and Jonathan, I mean, it was probably one of the most enjoyable rounds I've had this year. It was very fun.
And there's nothing better, and there's nothing that makes you a better golfer than playing with people that are better than you.
Absolutely, yeah.
And Steven Evans, is one of the elite on the tour. Jonathan Aiken doesn't play as much as he used to, but every time he shows up, he puts his name, up at the very top. He's either winning or second place.
Yeah.
Sure. Minus his god awful looking putter in the broomstick, but Steve Evans, Jonathan Aiken on the gross side, shooting a 2 under 70. You and I both know that probably could have been 8, 9 under.
Should have been 8, I think. Yeah.
Driving the par 4s, easily getting on the par 5s. The greens and the cups were not cooperating with their putters. But I mean, they played incredibly well. It really, really should have been a runaway thing for them.
That was fun to watch. I mean, it was fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, I know a couple of those putts that they missed, they were just heartbroken by. But at the same time, I was sitting there just like,
yeah, exactly.
Like I was stressed out over their putts too because I'm like, Jesus, something needs to drop here.
Especially after the first 4 or 5, you got to think, eventually it's gonna drop, but it just never did, unfortunately.
Yeah. But shooting 2 under, taking second place on gross side, running away with it. Another victory for this duo. Weldon, Dustin, Vidal, Sean. 4 under, gross 68.
What a solid team. That is, I mean, we played with them a couple times as well in these team events, and I mean, they're just robotic. They don't miss.
And I think the other big piece of it is that again, they're 2 really good players that know how to perform. They both hit great off the tee, both solid in irons, both solid in wedges, both solid in putters, and they've played together for so many years. They really have a pretty solid game plan of how they go approach these kinds of tournaments.
For sure.
And this is why that they're piling cookies.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, they're very comfortable pairing. And I will say that I played with Sean at round 1 at TPC at the Canyons course, and with the wind and everything, that was some of the best golf I've probably ever seen. I mean, he just played a solid round of golf in some very tough conditions. So
salt and pepper, baby.
Salt and pepper. I agree, Steven.
Sean is the pepper because he's got a little bit of a little bit of the gray going.
It's fun competing against them because you got to bring it to even have a chance to beat those guys. So that's fun.
Those guys, again, it's another one of those groups that's fun to play with. They make you play your best golf. Absolutely. They make you have to be a better golfer. So really cool. So that is Alt Shot Northern Hills results. Now let's look at the top 10 because this is where we're getting ready to go in the PC Open. I have some fun stats to share after we go through the top 10. But let's go look at top 10 and see what's going on there. So we got a bunch of ties towards the bottom. So we'll start in 10th. Tied for 10th place right now. Up 4 spots after his victory with Dennis Danowski. You have Mark Kacheski at 740 points, tied with myself. In 8th place, you have Dale Beavers and Matthew Kawamoto. Both had pretty good weekends. Down a couple of spots, down 2 and 3 respectively, but hanging in the top 10. Lee Mole, dude missed 2 events this season, and he is tied for 6th right now. Dennis Danowski, Lee Mole, 760 points, both up 4 spots. And then we see some separation here. 5th place, up 2 spots. Dustin Weldon coming off his win. Staying in 4th, Roger Murray. I mean, he won to stay in 4th. That's crazy.
Closing the gap, though. He's only 10 points out.
Yep. Steven Evans stays at 3, coming in 2nd gross. And then you have Mr. Brad Gilbert, 875 points, down 1 spot, giving up the top spot to Jonathan Harder after his victory. That is enough to propel him to 1st place.
I want to be happy for Jonathan, I really do. But no, he's well earned. He's that is a solid top 10 right there.
I mean, and the craziest piece of it is, again, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, or hold on, excuse me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have 6 of the top 10 won, and then you had 3 of the top 10, 3 of the 4 remaining, freaking 2nd place. I mean, it really probably some of the strongest golf of a top 10 finishing up a season, which is just crazy.
It is crazy, yeah.
So
every flight is represented in that top 10. Based on
every flight represented, which is really cool. I do want to talk about this though, because I think that this is super relevant and super interesting. I was going back and looking at summer 2023, trying to just get a feel of where was everybody at? Where did our top 10 look as we went into the playoffs?
Yeah.
So your top 3.
Go
ahead.
You're being very competitive. I just wanted to.
Go
ahead.
Yeah, last summer was a very competitive, but also, I mean, 1, 2, and 3 looked pretty much a given to make the team. They were running away with it. Lazaro had 1,020 points. I had 940. You were at 840. First, let's look at those top 3 numbers. Right now, 1020, 940, 840. 840 would have you securely sitting in 4th. 940 and 1020 from Laz and myself would have us sitting pretty in 1st and 2nd.
Almost guaranteed.
Almost guaranteed. The really, really crazy thing is going back to pull those numbers where the stats get super interesting is 1st to 10th place going into the playoff or going into the PC Open last year. 1 through 10 was separated by 305 points, which is a substantial number. That is a gross win at PC Open.
Exactly. Yeah.
Very, very tough to see anybody really getting there. There was only a couple of players that really had the possibility to do it. So 305 points was the separator. Now we do know how that played out, unfortunately. Good and bad. Sure. Brad Gilbert, you still played great at the PC Open. I know you gave, you didn't have the weekend that you wanted 100%. But when you're playing against someone like Steven Evans, Steven Evans comes out and wins the gross score PC Open. 300 points propels him 10 spots into 3rd to take it from you, which was.
I mean, he's an unstoppable force at that point.
He is.
He did what he needed to do. So.
Yeah. So I mean, it took winning gross the only way Steven had a chance. It was, not a lot of mathematical possibilities to get to that that top three. So 305 points separating first and 10th last season in the summer. This season, first through 10th is only separated by 175 points.
That's nuts. That's crazy.
We have it's been more diverse in the winners. Still consistent in all of the top 10. They've all played consistently. But we've had some other winners. We've had some people that, have been battling in each flight. So 175 point difference is huge. In 3rd to 10th place last season going into the PC Open was 125 point difference. This year it is 110. The way that this shapes out, and it's a crazy thing to think. There is really anybody, and I'm going to pull it up real quick. I do apologize. I thought I had saved this. I'm going to pull the points list real quick because right now, as it stands, I'd say anybody in the top 20, 645 points right now.
Jeez.
645 points, even towards, you could say, honestly, you could make the argument 300 points. Top 21 at 630 points.
Potentially.
All have a legitimate chance to make the team.
That's correct.
There's a mathematical chance to make the team.
And when you add in the statistical fact that I'm going to play myself out of the top 3, that just opens up for somebody else. So.
Well, I don't believe that will be the case this year.
I'm just kidding. I did it last year, not this year. But
for those out there who want to know what they need to do to beat some of these guys, I can tell you right now, I went back a couple of years. I went back 2 years, pulled some Brack data from our top 10. So if you're out there trying to wiggle your way into the top 10, trying to maximize points, punch your ticket to the playoffs, or make it to the top 3, your top 10, Dustin Weldon averaging a 70.8, but he's put up some mid 60s out there as well. Steven Evans averages a 68.6 in his last 6 events. MD 73 average in my last 6 events. Mark Kacheski 77, Brad Gilbert 75. Lee Mull, Dale, Matt Kawamoto don't have really a lot of scores that I can take to give it a really good definition. They're average 1 to 3 rounds played. So I don't want to say that this is what they're going to average, but Roger Murray 93.8 average in 6 rounds. Jonathan Harder 80 average in 5 rounds. So those are some scores to kind of be aware of. Say, hey, this is what these guys normally go out there and shoot. What do I need to do to beat them? There you go. There's some averages there. There's some statistical averages of how the top 10 has gone about playing Brack over the last 2 years, excuse me. Set your goals. Know what you're aiming for.
Info. Yeah, that's some cool info.
So let's talk a little bit about PC Open. PC Open was moved to Brackenridge Park, away from Olmos. Brack is always fun. Brack is always challenging. Let's talk, Brad. How are you preparing for Brack? Top 3. You're sitting in 2nd place right now. What does your preparation look like going into the weekend?
Yeah, it's just a lot of sitting at the office in front of my computer doing mental swings. That's pretty much all I got right now. Trying to, at some point this week, I hope to hit some balls, but it feels like the changes that I was working on and I was trying to make, they feel pretty good right now. So I'm afraid that even if I did try to go work on some things more, I might even mess it up more than anything. So it might be a good thing that I don't get to hit balls, but I am definitely preparing mentally. So
and we'll get a chance to get a practice round in. We're playing Friday afternoon,
that's true.
Late afternoon round. It'll be a nice twilight round.
That's true. Yeah. but my daughter's birthday's tomorrow, and I got it's just all happening. Life hits you at once, just like everybody else on tour, which is awesome. Again, this South Texas Amateur Golf Tour. I mean, we're talking about amateur golfers who have day jobs and full-time jobs and everything, and we're just trying to do our best. So that's all we can.
I mean, it's. I mean, I don't think it's going to hurt you, to be honest. I mean, your swing's repeatable, consistent. I think for you, you're getting basically a week off to rest.
Exactly. That's
I
how
think
I'm looking at it. Yeah.
Putt a little bit at the house. Friday, get some practice in, and Saturday, go play.
And I'm getting old, MD, so I probably less wear and tear the better. So. But speaking of preparation, you're sitting at number 10 right now. I mean, you go out, you get that win, get the jacket. It's almost guaranteed you're up there, right? What's going through your mind?
Brack has never been my course. There's a couple holes out there that just don't set up well for me, but at the same time, I know I can beat those holes. I know I can get through them. I've gone through the last 6 rounds of Brack scores. I know the holes that have kind of plagued me throughout the seasons. So being a little bit more strategic about that. And then honestly, most of it's, I mean, I've been practicing all week. The big piece of it's just putting. Really, really want to have the short game under control. I feel like I'm chipping well, I'm putting well, but I have a new putter in the bag. I've probably switched out grips 6 times just trying to figure out a grip that suited me. Found that, and I've been spending at least an hour a day on the putting green, and then just messing around with the irons and continuing to get comfortable with those and hit those as new irons in the bag for me as well. So I feel pretty good. I mean, Northern Hills gave me a lot of confidence, for sure. I'm not super worried about the weekend though. If I win, if I can go manage to win low gross or low net, that would be cool. If I could pull off something just in my flight, I'd be happy. Champ flight is going to be stacked as always. Where I'm coming from in the top 10, and where anybody should be coming from at this point is, what do I need to do to get as many points as possible to put me in the best position to go to the playoffs?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's the best thing right now.
It's so hard. Jeremy, I didn't want to tell anybody. I didn't want to say it out loud because I didn't want to start getting comments. So thank you. Yes, for everybody out there, the greens were dry ejected this morning at Brack. They had tee times out by 3:00. The course maintenance, this was scheduled long before we made the move, and frankly, even with the punch greens, put us in a better condition than almost at the current state. And we've been assured, and we've been given a lot of feedback from the trail team that those greens are going to be rolling well and in the best condition that they can be for us to be there. So we'll navigate that as it goes.
Yeah, man, those greens were those greens were in such good shape too. I mean, they were pure.
And I think people forget, like, they don't do this to hurt the course. Like, it's not bad. It is literally to keep the course healthy and kind of keep everything ready for the next half of the season. So it is what it is. They're going to get it in good shape, and I'm not really worried. Jeff, wanted to answer your question. I managed to secure one of the 250 limited edition Xander Odyssey Toulon putters that they released. They sold out in 22 minutes. Don't know how I got mine, but I did. And as much as I wanted to just put it in a glass case, that number 7 head is my favorite head of all time from a putter standpoint. They haven't had it in a milled face. It's always been insert, and I don't really care for insert. So the moment that I knew that this putter was available, I mean, I was up at like 6 a.m. when it released. I knew that I wanted that putter. I knew I wanted to game it. I knew I had to have it and managed to get it. So that went in the bag about 2 weeks ago. I've been playing with it ever since. So feeling very good with it. And especially, we're going to be on punch greens. When it comes to playing punched greens, one, you have to hit the putt a little bit harder. Sand might want to slow it down. You got to be aware of the time of day as well. Wet sand is going to even make it slower. You're going to want to hit lower trajectory ball flight into those greens because the sand is going to want to stop it. And they're going to do the best they can to make the course, make the greens as flat and roll as great as possible. But sand still exists. The punches still exist. When you come in at a higher angle of descent, you could potentially land in a spot and just kick it right, kick it left. You don't control it. So a little bit lower trajectory is important. So there's some things that you can do to prep for the punch. But I don't think we're going to have any issues with that. I think the course is still going to be perfect. It's going to be challenging, and I'm not. I think I do think it will still be interesting, though. I think that does make a. I don't think we're going to see 7 unders.
Yeah, I agree.
I think. I mean, if we go back, obviously we played it almost last year. Shout out Steve Evans. Shout out to Lazaro. Current names on the jacket for 2023. Steve Evans 69 at almost. Laz net 63, net 68. I gotta think, again, looking at the scoring averages of some of these top 10, looking at course conditions. I mean, everything is going to be great minus the greens. They're going to be at a B versus the A that they would grade at. I mean, I think a solid number. I think 66 wins today, to be honest.
Yeah, I was thinking somewhere in there, but probably just a little bit north of that, probably 67, 68.
I think it is a great equalizer, though. I think I think it keeps some of the guys who are extremely good at going low. Yeah. It kind of keeps them maybe a little bit tethered back to the reality of golf. And it maybe takes off a little bit of the edge of their superhuman skill. And then you've got some of these guys that, they're not, they don't kill the ball. They don't have Jaramillo distance. They don't have a Steven Evans iron game, but they can chip and putt. And this is, it more than ever, especially because it's Brack. Short game wins the day. Yeah. I mean, it's always putt. It's always drive for show, putt for dough. But Brack is such a short course. And with these greens being in the condition that they'll be in, your ability to manage your short game is going to be absolutely critical and will really be the deciding factor of the weekend.
I agree. And I know for me, I like to put a lot of spin on my chip shots. So if I'm playing, especially at Brack with how grainy they are, if I'm in the grain, if I'm into the grain on the chip shot, I know I can be aggressive and I know what I can rely on. But with the punch greens, like you said, man, if you put a lot of spin and come in higher and it hits one of those marks or something, and it's just not consistent. So for me, I know I'm gonna have to change up my approach to chipping for sure. I know a lot of people will, but if you haven't thought about that, maybe that's something to think about.
It's that, and even a little bit different ball. I've been playing the Pro V1X. I think I'm just gonna put the left dash in. It's a little bit harder. Cut down the spin a little bit. Give myself a little bit more of a boost. And see if I can't be a little bit more aggressive at some of those pins, just knowing I'm not as likely to just bounce them off the greens.
Sure. Yeah, that's a good idea.
So definitely something to be thinking about as well. If you get a chance, go to Brack, go practice your chipping and putting. Take out, bring out a ball or two. Maybe you don't want to change and you got what you got. Figure out how to manage that on those greens.
Exactly. But just be prepared to respond accordingly, because you never know.
It's going to be challenging. I think the maintenance crew does such a good job, and they know how big this weekend is.
Yeah.
Travis last night had a meeting with the leadership of the trail, and they're very much aware, very supportive of making sure that this course is and that these greens are as perfect as can be despite dry jet, which
for sure.
is different than aeration. But go do some reading on it, kind of getting. If you're concerned about how it'll affect you, you can easily go look it up and start prepping on that. But Brack, I think, is a. Look, go ahead.
I just real quick, and I will say that I played Brack, and throughout the years, I played Brack in many different types of conditions, and I've never not had fun playing Brack. So, I always just try to take a positive approach to it. I mean, we're out there playing golf too, come on.
Yeah, weather's going to be warm. Make sure that you're thinking appropriately about that. Plenty of water, plenty of snacks. This is the biggest. Next to the playoffs, this is the biggest weekend of the regular season. We are looking to punch the last 3 spots to the South Texas Match Play Challenge team. In that position already, you have Dennis Danowski, Greg Graff, Willie Nichols, Bob North, Jeremy Jaramillo, and presenting sponsor 2024, David Falconer, on the team already. We've got lots of space to fill up here. And I mean, it's, again, be thinking about wild card, be thinking about finishing in the top spots in the playoffs. Every point matters.
If you have to, the horse race, right?
If you have to, the horse race. Every point matters. We say it every year. We say it every event. This is it. This is it. This is your last chance to get as many points as you can to solidify that punch ticket into the playoffs, or to put yourself in that position going into the playoffs. We only have, I think, right now, looking at our top 10, I think the only people that were in the top 10 going into the playoffs this weekend that were in the playoffs going in the spring season, Mark Kacheski and MD and Danowski. The only 3 players. Those are 3 people that are gonna be sitting pretty if they don't make. Dennis is already on the team. So you look at like a Mark Kacheski, you look at some of the other players out there. Even if the weekend doesn't necessarily go perfect for 1 or 2 people in the top 3, it's about making sure that when the playoffs come, that you are sitting pretty with as many points as you can, to kind of give yourself maybe a little bit of breathing room.
Absolutely. Yeah.
2 hard weekends of Northern Hills, and then back to Brack, which is fun too. We're going Northern Brack. We're getting plenty of reps in at the courses that we need to be practicing at. So it's going to be a good weekend. It's going to be a tough weekend. Hot. Wind doesn't seem like it's going to be a huge thing. We know what Sunday pins will look like. I'll be setting up on Friday morning, with the rest of the committee, of the course setup committee, and we're gonna have some fun pins. We're gonna have some fun tee boxes. Brack is Brack. It's a great place to be. It's a great weekend, and at the end of it, we get to crown 2 champions, and we get to crown 3 people to the team, and it's going to be great. And then follow it up. I'm out of here, going to Kohler with Travis Bird and Casey to go play straights and go screw around in Sheboygan. So
it doesn't get better than that.
It really, really doesn't. So lots of good stuff coming up. Big weekend. If you had registration closed at 5:00, whoever is in charge of our Facebook, who's really on top of it, making sure that you sign up.
Out there. Yeah.
Wonder who that is, but they did a good job. Now, that being said, if you didn't get a chance to sign up because you're lazy, but you feel like putting some energy into the weekend and playing, shoot an email. info@stxamtour.golf. I believe we did have a couple of dropouts, a couple of withdrawals. We're going to have, I think we're at 90 plus players. We still have plenty of space. We would love to try and add anyone else who wants to take a shot. There's going to be some players that we haven't seen. Casey Carnes, I believe, is in the field.
Oh, that's cool.
Casey Carnes coming to steal points away from Jonathan Hart, or coming to steal points from some of the champ flight and some of the rest of the field. Shoot us an email. Let us know. And at the same time, go to Strackline. STX Am Tour is your promo code, 20% off. They get the books here pretty damn fast. Yeah. I think if you order today, like, I would be willing to bet it's here by Saturday or Friday even. So give them a read as well. We've all played Brack a million times, but I'll be honest, I have my book. It will be in my hands for most of the round, just to give myself something to look at and not think about my game.
Absolutely.
So, Brad, we're at 58 minutes, so let's finish off. Final thoughts for you going into the weekend, and just final thoughts in general on tonight.
Yeah. Just final thoughts is I can't wait to play Brack. Can't wait for a 2-day tournament. It's really cool.
Love 2-day.
Being able to sleep on that lead after day one, that'd be pretty nice. Just hope everyone plays well. I'm coming for you, Jonathan Harder. So that's my last thoughts.
There you go. The line has been drawn in the sand. Brad Gilbert coming for Jonathan Harder. I mean, plenty of opportunity. It'll be interesting with the amount of players that we get, and we're going to have some players that don't normally play. So we may see some fluctuation in the actual divisions, in the flights. Someone may sneak into a flight or get pushed into a flight, and it might make a little bit more drama. But definitely good luck to everyone competing this weekend. Every point matters. Go after it. Go get it. Always remember, you can't win the tournament on Saturday, but you sure shit can lose it. So come in ready to play. Come in to manage your golf and manage your round, and be ready to go all out on Sunday. Guys, that's all we have for you tonight. Everyone have a safe, lovely rest of your evening. Get some practice in this week. We will see everybody bright and early at Brackenridge Park Saturday morning, 9 o'clock first tee time. And we're going to have a good time, man. Looking forward to it.
Looking forward to it. Play well.
All right. Good night, everybody. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you guys this weekend. It's going to be awesome. Good night.